Alright, so turn on the ventilator and wait for the first breath. That's the first breath. Turn it back off. SPM, so that's the pneumatic module, it's checking. I'll show you what that module is. This is your SPM. So that's the self-check. This is the heart of the unit. That's your compressor and everything attached to it. Okay. Turn the ventilator on. First breath went, hit OK. We're looking for an alarm. Should happen within 15 seconds. There you go. Stop timer. Pass. Switch the ventilator off. Press OK. Setup. So it gives you a setup here. That setup, if you're having trouble seeing it on that screen, that setup also shows up in its manual. The RCS kit manual, remote calibration system manual, it shows you the different setups. A, A2, B, C, and on and on. So what you have to pay attention to is the configuration of the RCS system. Here's a filter, various connectors and portals, the TSI flow meter, your high pressure oxygen, your low pressure oxygen, your communication between the flow meter and the computer, the software, your power cable. As you saw before, the SPO2 was in this particular port. And the information that the device feeds back to your RCS system is coming through this USB cable. Okay? So it's right now it's asking us for user setup or test setup A, which is here on page Alpha 4 in the manual. Affirmative. So that's the setup I have here. Now it's telling me to put a resistor, the calibration resistor, in this section of my setup. That's right here. Between this upper piece and this, it wants the calibration resistor, the silver one. Okay? Okay, so it's telling me now to go ahead and remove that resistor. Feel air coming out of there. Then press OK. here you can see it passing the test that it's actually putting out. Okay. Test setup B is the same setup, except that same resistor that we had before goes on top. So on your output, you put the restrictor. It's a restrictor. Again, this is showing you the measurements that are being made and whether or not it's passing the tests. You could pass 9 tests on this, but if you fail one out of those 9, or the 10th test rather, the whole thing fails. Okay, this is when we get into the pressure. So we're dealing with high pressure O2 supply. It's asking me to enter 55 PSI. So as you see, we already have this connected. It has, the RCS kit comes with this Y connector so that you can have one of the hoses going straight into the meter and the other hose going straight into the device itself. That way you're sort of getting an accurate reading of what's coming into this whole device. All right, remember this is a meter. So it wants 55 PSI. So let me go ahead and turn this on. Gauge is a little off, but we'll be able to tell by what's showing up here what we have. So yeah, 55 plus or minus 10%, that falls within the range. It gives us an okay. If it was outside of the range, this would be gray and you wouldn't be able to activate it. Okay, so it told me it failed the kickstart. Let me add a little bit more pressure. I didn't wait long enough for it to stabilize. That could be the issue. Let's see. It's asking me if I would like to retry, so it's going to reset me, so to speak. Let me just add a little bit more pressure. See, it dropped below 55 there, or below 50. So let's try it at that point. I would like to retry. Send the pressure up just a little bit. You have to sort of make sure your air supply is stable when you're doing these tests. I'm moving through a little quickly, and that's part of my issue. So that could be an issue. So it failed 3 times. I believe that oxygen is about right. We're gonna go ahead and just see by moving on. Actually, let me try it one more time. We give just a little bit more O2. Again, your gauges should be in much better shape than this. Okay, so see, it gives you 3 opportunities to pass. If it doesn't pass, you will get a fail. It will move on to the next test. So we know that part of what we have to look into as far as the correction of this device or getting this device back up and running in optimal condition, we have to look at these 2 aspects of it. The battery, and now we have to look at the O2 kickstart and troubleshoot that particular error. Now these things could be fixed by the complete calibration as well, but we'll see all of this as we go through. Okay, so once we disconnect the high and the low pressure O2, we're gonna have to close this off first, bleed it out. Disconnect these. Sort of zeroing out your meter. In these tests, sometimes you'll find some of them that are sort of missing a final piece. What I find in some of them, you should put this back on, even though it doesn't tell you to, before you start the test, because the test starts immediately with no pressure on there, and some of them requires you to keep it off. It all depends. Let me see if this is the one that I'm looking at. Okay, there it goes. It tells me to connect it back. It's looking for 90 PSI. Let's wait for it to stabilize. It's a little high. It's plus or minus 1 PSI that we're looking for. See, the gauge is different than the see a little off. Still a little off. It's off by just a little bit. There we go. See the OK went from gray to black. Okay, so now it's got a measure of that. It was able to capture that. So now it's telling me to depressurize the O2 altogether. So the same thing as before. Bleed it out. Okay.
How much air do you have left in that tank?
Enough.
Oh, okay.
More than enough.
What's that thing?
Now 170. Huh?
Is that a ventilator or
Yeah, that's a fan.
is that the Hamilton?
That's the 731 Zoll. Okay. See now, as opposed to the other one that was 90 with one or two.
He's looking